Hello, hello everybody. The live stream should be just starting. Yes, it is started on my computer. I'm pulling it up on my phone just so I can see the chat quickly and efficiently and all that fun stuff. Where is it? Where is it? There you go. Alright. We got some pretty big news today, folks. The war is unsurprisingly still spiraling. Trump's warmongering is actually spreading. Which, you know, you thought it couldn't get worse than losing to Iran. Oh, brother, it can get worse. Best believe it could get worse. Let's go see how the stream sounds real quick. It get worse than losing to Iran. Oh, brother, it can get worse. Best believe it could get worse. Let's go see how the... Okay, I think I need to turn up my thing here a little bit. Gotta have a little bit of music. Music is part of the atmosphere, folks. We have the number up and the Google Voice up for those who MAGA folks determined to defend their guy. Don't know at this point why you would do that, so we're gonna really jump into the headlines in just a moment. Let's see here. Bit. Gotta have a little bit of music. Music is part of the atmosphere. I don't know at this point why you would do that, so we're gonna really jump into the headlines in just a moment. Okay, that sounds good. Turn down a little bit. Alright. So what's on the top of the Google News? Here's a big one. Trump is on one hand saying, according to NPR, that he's wanting to wind down the war in Iran. But then CBS News, 2nd Marine Expeditionary Unit, around 2,200 Marines, 3 warships heading to the Middle East. The USS Boxer and the 11th Marine Expeditionary Unit to deploy in the Middle East. Folks, you can't trust anything this guy says. I mean, literally just the other day he was claiming that he did not give the approval and had no knowledge about what Israel was going to do when they struck that Iranian oil field, Iranian and Qatari oil field. And then the reporting showed that the US had been made aware, had approved, and allowed it. And we gave the green light, so you really just can't trust a damn word this man says, so don't even bother. More fallout from the Cesar Chavez allegations of betrayal. Chicago Latinos want Cesar Chavez name removed from buildings. Crazy stuff happening in that regard. Chuck Norris is dead. I saw a video of Chuck Norris the other day. And I didn't expect that he would just die right after seeing that video. The war is spreading, as I said earlier. As we mentioned, we're sending more warships and additional Marines. There's likely going to be a ground conflict soon, starting with the Iranian oil hub Kherg Island. The US is allegedly considering boots on the ground. The island handles 90% of Iran's exports. It also holds a good amount of its oil. The thing is, it's a small island, doesn't really have too much strategic value for us. Trump might see it as an opportunity for him to get some money for himself. He wants to take the oil for himself, put it and be able to sell it and put all the money into a private bank account. But there's the very big possibility that if Iran loses that oil, they could just destroy the fucking island, because that island is small. The reason we haven't destroyed it yet, even though we're so willing to destroy so much and kill so much, is likely because I genuinely believe Trump wants to profit from it. Now, if Iran then proceeds to strike the island and cause a tremendous amount of casualties to US troops, one can only imagine the long-term consequences of that. Well, we likely know the consequences. It's going to be a ground war. I think we're going to get a ground war anyway. There's no reason why you would be sending Marines over there unless there's going to be a ground war, unless you're going to put boots on the ground. Even taking this island, in my view, would be considered boots on the ground. Iran has struck down US jets. F-35s. Stealth, huh? Really amazing modern technology. Oil shortages are on the way. Potential rationing is on the way. You ought to prepare that. There's going to be a lot of dominoes falling as a result. Food prices are going to go up. Inflation through the roof. I believe it was one U.S. agency was already saying to start working from home. Drive less. Don't fly airplanes. We're already essentially preparing for a shortage. We are already short. This moment where the gas prices are $4 or whatever it might be for you, you're going to miss this moment in just a few weeks or just a few months. You're going to miss this moment. That's not really that great. You're going to miss this moment because another headline makes it clear that Iran is striking Kuwait's largest refinery. Saudi Arabia is suspending drilling. Saudi Aramco, that's the world's largest oil producing company. And yeah, unsurprisingly, my friends, gas is going to go up. Iran is actually really kind of showing its muscle in terms of the Strait of Hormuz crisis. They are allowing their own ships to come out. They're allowing ships heading to China to come out. And of course, they're putting restrictions on Western ships, on American ships, on so on and so forth. That's leaving a lot of sailors also just kind of stuck there. I don't know if this administration really thought about those sailors before launching this bullshit war, but they ought to do that. And Iran is showing that it can cause nuclear damage without even dropping a nuclear bomb. I mean, this oil stuff is going to lead to a depression. Tell me a way out. You got former Trump officials, defense officials from the first administration are coming out and saying, holy fuck, we're losing. And we don't quite know what exactly the path moving forward is. If you also block the oil from coming out, that affects the production of so many goods, including fertilizers. That means mass food shortages. That means tens of millions of deaths globally. That means starvation en masse. Did the bastards in the White House or in the Pentagon even fucking think about this? I don't know. Where are the Democrats, folks? Where are the Democrats? You got Ro Khanna pushing the War Powers Resolution, but where the fuck is Hakeem Jeffries? Where the hell is Chuck Schumer? The American people don't like this war. A poll came out with only 7% of Americans approving it. Majority believing that this war benefits Israel more. Frankly, I don't even know how Israel itself benefits. I know that they want to balkanize Iran. They want to destroy the state. They want to be a regional superpower. But they're getting bombed to hell too. Their reputation is continuing to be destroyed too. Only 7% of Americans support this war. Yet you can't have Democratic leadership, the so-called opposition party, stepping up saying, no, this war is illegal. You did not go through Congress. You violated the law. We're going to impeach you. We're going to remove you from office. We're going to arrest you. That's what a real opposition party is supposed to do. And I don't really know what's going on there. Like I mentioned earlier, a bunch of sailors are stuck over there. There's concerns of food and water shortages. That's going to be a possible massive humanitarian disaster at sea. Again, wholly and completely unnecessary. Domestically, there are travel problems. TSA is not getting their money. I saw this amazing video by, I think it was John Cornyn, or it was Greg Kassar at an airport confronting John Cornyn, who was bringing pizza to the TSA workers not getting paid because of the government shutdown. The government shut down, by the way. Did you know that? Is it? Senate fails to advance measure to end... Yeah, no, wait. Holy shit, I follow this politics so closely. I didn't even fully realize we're in a government shutdown. I think this is related to DHS funding, yes. Senate fails to advance measure for DHS funding to end shutdown. In turn, a lot of DSA or TSA workers are not getting paid. Greg Kassar had a bill that would provide funding for those TSA workers and not ICE. And he confronted John Cornyn at an Austin airport when he was bringing them pizza. I don't know if he feels that he can just buy out their support with a fucking pizza party. That seems to be the method from corporate America. Hey, don't form a union. Just go enjoy a pizza party. But Greg Casar confronted him. So why don't you support my bill to get funding to TSA? Of course, he didn't answer the question because that's what politicians do. They fucking run their mouth and then they run away. You hate to see it. You hate to see it. Here's a concerning one. We got a crisis in Cuba. Massive crisis in Cuba. Blackouts across the nation. Now, you're not supposed to say this in Florida politics, but the sanctions are evil. We're starving that country. We're making sure that their hospitals cannot run. We're making sure that their water cannot be warm when they take a shower. We're making sure that their food cannot be stored. We are starving Cuba by preventing gasoline to come. Now, what happens when you cause a unnecessary, completely unnatural, man-made disaster, but you make it wide-scale and massive? Well, then we're going to potentially get another refugee crisis. I'm sure that the America Firsters, I'm sure that the anti-immigration folks are looking forward to that. But even more important than a potential immigration crisis, come on, let these people fucking eat. Let these people have oil. Let these people have their lights on. Let them cook their food. Let their hospitals be able to take care of patients. We're already fucking dealing with Iran, and now they want to do Marco Rubio's wet dream of invading Cuba? This is beyond ridiculous. This is beyond ridiculous. Shit, I wouldn't even be surprised if Cuba beats us in a war based on how we're performing in Iran. Speaking of war in South America, they have just started an investigation at Colombian President Gustavo Petro. This was what the stream title is about. That the Trump war is spreading, folks. They have launched an investigation into Gustavo Petro, essentially trying to accuse him of being a drug trafficker. They're trying to redo the Maduro playbook against a democratically elected left-wing president of a sovereign country. Not a dictator, democratically elected, who will be leaving office soon. They're investigating him. They're going to try to do regime change over there. Hello, there's still a fucking regime we're fighting in the Middle East. There's an island, a massive island, Cuba, that you're starving, that you want to do war with there. And now you want to do war with Colombia too? Do these people have no limits? Do they have no hesitation? Do they have no moral compass? I don't even need to ask that questions. Of course they don't. But again, goes back to the immigration influx, the refugee influx. You want to start a fucking war in Colombia too? Are you ready for the refugees? Is those America Firsters, those anti-immigration pricks, are they ready to house a poor Colombian who had a whole life with them in Colombia, but now had to deal with a regime change war by the United States because Donald Trump personally doesn't like their leader, calling him out for being a pedophile? Because that's what Mr. Gustavo Petro did. Mention how the Epstein class is running America. And how they're trying to distract from the Epstein files with war in Venezuela, war in Cuba, war in Iran, war in Greenland. Lula's president, Brazil's president, Lula da Silva, mix things up there. He is now challenging America. He is now challenging Donald Trump, talking about how odd it is that in the UN Security Council there was the whole world war, yes, this, that, or the other, but then the UK, US, France, Russia, so on, they get to be permanent members of the Security Council, but the hundreds of nations outside that small group of people, well, they're just side characters, they're just extras. Meanwhile, one of the members of the Security Council is out here talking about invading Greenland, Cuba, Colombia, Venezuela, Iran, and so on. I mean, you also have the other members of that Security Council, Russia currently invading Ukraine. You have China in that, I think is also a member of the Permanent Security Council, wanting to invade Taiwan. The way we're doing this, folks, we make the UN seem like a damn joke. And the rest of the world is fucking getting tired. Not just of Russia or whatever, of the United States. Our own allies are getting tired. Pedro Sanchez in Spain has been badass, standing up to America. Especially in regards to war and peace. Especially in regards to Palestine. And his numbers and his party's numbers have seen a surge. Because that's what happens when you bully all your fucking allies. They get tired of you. And you're going to lose them. Public perception of Trump is down. Approval is down. It makes sense. He's the most corrupt, arrogant, reckless leader of our time. He's not doing a good job running the nation. He's a horrible president. He's getting us into unpopular wars. He still will have like his 30-something% of diehard cult Kool-Aid drinking bastards that stick with him. But, the culture war can only drive out the sort of movable middle into such an extent. I think they've reached the limit there. Next time there's an election, these people are getting their asses beat if it's free and fair. Speaking of sort of the culture war, Tennessee, in the midst of gas prices surging, a war, and the Middle East burning, American troops dying, cost of living increasing dramatically. Tennessee is focused on the issues that matter, folks. There is a bill in Tennessee trying to create a public registry of trans individuals. Now, of course, this raises civil rights concerns. Naturally. Will it get passed? I don't know. How enforceable is it? I don't know. If we were seeing some horrible human rights violation, genocide, mistreatment, second-class citizenship, is this the first step? Absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. You start with a fucking public registry. You start with treating these people like they're fucking sex offenders. You start with treating them like the other, making them the other, changing their status. A public registry? Do you people not have any fucking problems in your state? No, they have a lot of problems. They just don't care. There are poor people. There are people struggling. There are people working hard as hell and getting nowhere. And these people want to make a public registry of trans people. Know that when you vote. And this is to the Tennessee voters. Find out if your representative in the state level, if your senator in the state level is supporting this. And punish them in the polls. Punish them politically. Make them lose their job. Because they are clearly not focused on you if they even dare sign yes on this bill. Any other headlines? Folks, I do see 4 people. It's been kind of bouncing 4, 5, 6 people in the chat or in the watching the stream. Feel free to speak in the chat, ask any questions. I'd be glad to respond. That's what makes streaming fun. That's what makes streaming fun, folks. Not me. You. You're what makes this stream possible. Oh, here's an interesting one. U.S. removes 140 million barrels of Iranian oil. Oh, removes sanctions on 140 million barrels of Iranian oil as Trump seeks to lower gas prices. As the war enters its 4th week, CNN hosts a town hall featuring U.S. Ambassador to the UN Mike Waltz and a panel of experts. Okay, we don't care about that. What we care about is, holy shit, wait, you're going to war with Iran, you're punishing Iran, you hate Iran, they're the bad guys, they're this, they're that, and now you're removing the sanctions on them because you need their oil? I don't know how to tell you this, but you not the fucking A side in that situation. You the B side. You not winning in that situation. That is insanity. That is insanity. That is so crazy. Oh, here's another one. I saw this one earlier. Trump announced extended 4-day weekend in Palm Beach. So while the nation is at war, while service members are dying, while the economy is in crisis, Donald Trump is on vacation. He's going to play fucking golf in Palm Beach. Are you kidding me? And the fact is, MAGA pricks aren't going to be mad about this. The people deep into the MAGA core are not going to be mad about this. Sure, Democrats are. Sure, independents are. Normal people will be. But I'm specifically talking about that 30-20% that's going to stick with this cult leader no matter what. They are not going to be mad about this because they do not care about hypocrisy, about decency. I say decency. It's not decency. It's doing your job. If the economy is on crisis or in crisis and you're the president of the United States, you have all the motivation in the world to try to fix it. Because if you don't fix it, that reflects on you. And that's embarrassing. You don't want that. But Donald Trump, maybe he's so old he doesn't have any fucks to give. Maybe he knows that he won't be president forever. So he's just going to enjoy himself. Maybe he knows he's going to freaking, maybe he's sick or something. So he's just trying to chill and enjoy his time. I don't know what kind of fuck up in the brain you need to be so loosey-goosey about killing people overseas. Bombing school children. And then you're like, I want to play some golf though. I want to play some golf. I remember when he was criticizing Obama for golfing. He's like, I'm not even going to go to golf. I'm not even going to golf if I'm president. What happened to that? What happened there? And I remember Obama uses a teleprompter. I would never use a teleprompter. He'll use a teleprompter and then fuck up reading the teleprompter. These are little things compared to the bigger things he's done, no doubt. But shit, man, I'm not gonna lie. It's the little things that stick out to me. It's the little things that stick out to me, and I cannot believe he even has a single fan that doesn't feel constantly lied to when even the fucking small things he's gonna lie about. That's crazy. That's crazy. Whew. How long has this stream been going? Because I think I went through a lot of those headlines really fast. 22 minutes? I was just zooming through the headlines, man. 5 people in the chat. Feel free to say hello, ask questions, call in, do whatever you like. That's what makes streaming a unique medium. Appreciate y'all being here. I gotta slow down with these, with the headlines, man. I gotta go slower. Gotta prepare maybe some notes for each individual headline instead of just blasting the headlines. I don't know. Let's see what other people are talking about, I guess. Let's go see the YouTubers. What are the YouTubers chatting all about? More ground troops, unsurprising. War funding in trouble. What's her face? The Lauren Boebert doesn't want to sign the $200 billion that the Pentagon is asking for. Don't give her credit, though, because she's still supportive of the war itself. She still says, well, whether we pull out or not, that's up to the president. Do not give these MAGA people credit. They are not worth it, okay? AOC is saying that Trump is blackmailed by Epstein. That's pretty fucking believable. The Wall Street Journal made a piece on Hassan Piker. That was pretty crazy. It was very something else. It was trying a little too hard, okay? Listen, the whole fucking country's in a mess. The economy's in a disaster. There's a war overseas. The war is amplifying every economic problem that we have today. I don't really care about Hassan Piker drama, and I can't believe the Wall Street Journal is pushing that right now, of all the things. Damn, I really covered all the damn headlines. I'm working too efficiently here, folks. I got through a million different stories. Jeffrey Epstein news. There's a Florida guy who looks like Jeffrey Epstein. I think his name is Palm Beach Pete. He said, quote, "I'm not Jeffrey Epstein. I'm Palm Beach Pete." That was the guy that people saw in the car and just recorded him. And now he's getting a lot of clout from that. Ain't that something? Goldman Sachs lawyer who resigned over Epstein links, paid $25 million in 2025. Epstein lawyer tells House Oversight Committee he had no knowledge of Epstein's crimes. Well, yeah, shit. If he had no knowledge, but he got hella money, though, he got bans. That's crazy. Wall Street Journal, again, the now I guess the Hassan Piker paper. How did Jeffrey Epstein snare so many otherwise savvy people? Why would luminaries risk their reputations by interacting with Jeffrey Epstein? Sex aside, it's clear to me that there were many others that were truly after. Sex aside, it's clear to me what many others were truly after. And again, there's a paywall. They're going to kind of indicate what it is. Shouldn't they have known better? Part of his infamous black book. I grew up around Mount Manhattan. Okay. I kind of fucking hate these fucking constant paywalls in these media websites. I am not buying the fucking Wall Street Journal. But here's my guess of, how did he ensnare so many people? It's because these rich people are disgusting. They have too much money for their own good. They can do whatever the hell they want with the money, that they're like, let me try having sex with a child. You gotta take these people's money away for their own sake. Apparently money rots the brain so much you put yourself in situations where you're gonna get snared by Jeffrey Epstein, so maybe they shouldn't have the fucking money in the first place. And certainly, since a lot of them did acts, they should be in jail. I think that's pretty agreeable. I think most people agree on that. Norwegian princess says she was manipulated. Okay. I don't particularly care. Glad you lost your crown. When you gonna go to jail? We want nothing less for these people, folks. We want nothing less. Norway's crown princess. I didn't know Epstein was a predator. Norway's crown princess, Mette Marit. First of all, why do we even have monarchs to this day? What are we doing here? Norway is a fucking overall pretty progressive society, social democratic rule, and so on and so forth. Why we still got these fucking monarch bullshit? She says she wishes she never met the late sex offender. Oh, this is a video. Breaking 7 weeks of silence with after the extent of her contact with him emerged. She made the comments in a 20-minute interview in which she was on the verge of tears. 7 weeks ago, Norwegians discovered that the crown princess had been exchanging hundreds of emails with the disgraced financier between 2011 and 2014. So 2011 and 2014, he was already convicted. And she stayed in his Florida house when he was not there. So when was Jeffrey Epstein convicted? In 2008. 2008, Florida on state charges of procuring a child for prostitution and soliciting prostitution. As part of a plea deal, he served 13 months in custody with work release. He was arrested again on federal sex trafficking charges in July 2019, but died of suicide. Ooh. Don't believe that. Don't believe that. So he was convicted of being a pedophile, human trafficker, and fucking a child in 2008. And then Norwegian princess had a whole relationship. I'm not saying dating or whatever, but back and forth, hundreds of emails going back and forth, staying in his home between 2011 and 2014, and you didn't know you were staying in the home of fucking pedophilia, the CEO of Pedophile Incorporated. She says she was manipulated and deceived. She had poor judgment. Of course, I wish I never met him. But I'm not gonna lie, I feel like it's not hard to meet fucking pedophiles. Certainly not hard if you do meet them to not stay in their house. Her decision to speak publicly comes after intense scrutiny and pressure to explain herself, including from the Prime Minister. The Crown Princess gave little away during the conversation, and some of her responses came off as defensive. In 2011, 3 years after Epstein had been jailed for soliciting underage sex, she had wrote, "Googled you," after the last email. Agree, didn't look too good. So again, these people fucking lie. What do you think she was Googling? Sitting alongside her husband, Crown Prince Haakon, during the interview, Mette Merritt maintained that she didn't know he was a sex offender or a predator, even though the reporter pointed out that a Wikipedia article on Epstein at the time had made it clear he was a convicted abuser. I can't remember this. It was 15 years ago. But then there's an email in 2011 of her saying that she Googled him and thought it didn't look too good, but then stayed in her house between 2011 and 2014? I still didn't know about all the abuse, but I had understood enough that I thought he was a bad guy who people shouldn't have contact with, she told NRK. And I had seen up close how he blackmailed others, so I regret that I didn't tell more people because I should have. Okay, the thing is, if you're saying you didn't tell other people because you were fucking scared, I get it almost. I'm not saying it's the right thing to do, but I can almost understand that when you know that Jeffrey Epstein is a murderer, disgusting motherfucker. But then for you to stay in his home, when you had all the tools in the world to research this guy, when you claimed you researched this guy in 2011 and saw it didn't look good, but you still stayed in his home? Come on, man. Come on. She admitted to being too trusting of Epstein, but when asked why neither the palace nor the foreign ministry knew about her links to him, she said he was a private contact, and she did not tell everyone about her private contacts. She asked why she spent several days in Epstein's home in 2013. Okay, going back to this, so she was in Epstein's Palm Beach home in 2013. So she had seen how close he blackmailed others. She had read and Googled about him in 2011, but she stayed in his home in 2013. She explained that it was down to an unnamed mutual acquaintance. Epstein was a close friend of a good friend of mine. How the hell do you have a close friend that is close friends with the CEO of Pedophile Incorporated? I just don't understand that, bruh. I don't get that. She spoke of the situation that made her feel uneasy on the last day of her stay at the house, but refused to go any further, other than to say she phoned her husband about it. Crown Prince Haakon tells the interviewer that he remembers the princess's call well, and how it made his wife feel unsafe. Despite the incident, the Crown Princess maintained contact with Epstein for some time afterwards. I am overly trusting. I tend to think the best of people, but I also chose to end all direct contact with him, and it was because of such episodes as that. Well, you know, folks, I am not as trusting as the princess, it seems. I think I'm gonna call bullshit, bruh. I'm gonna call bullshit. You guys clearly see where I stand. Look, she Googled him and saw the problems and then still hung out with him. Still went to his home, still kept in contact. Oh no, I Googled that you are Mr. Pedophile and you fuck kids. I didn't expect you to be a pedophile and fuck kids and blackmail people and blackmail powerful people. It's just because I'm overly trusting. I'm just, I'm just a kind guy. You know, I just didn't, I didn't expect, I didn't expect this to happen. Come on, man. We're a little smarter than that. I think we're all a little smarter than that. Oh, going back to the Colombian president, I saw that he made a response. Pretty strong response, as usual. U.S. prosecutors are investigating Colombian President Gustavo Petro. U.S. prosecutors investigate Colombia's Petro over suspected ties to drugs. Bullshit, obviously. And he made a response. Let me try to find it. He said... Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I'm trying to find it. I saw it earlier. Left a like on it. Oh, okay, here you go. In Colombia, there isn't a single investigation into my relationship with drug traffickers for one simple reason. Never in my life have I spoken with a drug trafficker. On the contrary, I've dedicated 10 years of my life, and at the risk of my own existence, and provoking the exile of my family, to denounce the links between the most powerful drug trafficker and politicians in the Congress of the Republic and the local and national governments with these narcos, in what was called at the time the era of paramilitary governance. Regarding my campaigns, I have always told managers that no donations are accepted from bankers or narcos. The productive and intense investigation into my presidential campaign would not have even a single peso from drug traffickers because it is forbidden and my personal principles as a political leader. Sorry, there's like some translation there. Because this is being translated from Spanish, so the grammar's a little off there. So those probes in the U.S. will only serve me to dismantle the accusations from the Colombian far right that one is indeed articulated all the way to the teeth with the drug traffickers of Colombia. And I believe a former president of Colombia is also a Jeffrey Epstein associate and has a picture with either Epstein himself or Ghislaine Maxwell, and they were beefing, and he essentially just said, "This you?" You got two presidents beefing, and he just pulled this you, bruh. I know what you doing. I mean, let's be real though, drug traffickers. Dolph and Rod, thank you, President Trump, he says. Thanking for the gas prices going up. It's pretty bold, pretty interesting stance. How do you feel about that? Or how you feel about the files, or how you feel about whatever is in your mind. Feel free to call in. Feel free to just stay in the chat. I'll make sure to try to respond to you. Man, I kind of went over this pretty fast, but the fact that the Saudi oil company, which is the biggest oil company in the world, is not producing anymore, has stopped production. Oh, bro, it's gonna be bad, man. It's gonna be really bad, bro. I'm kind of concerned. I can't lie, bro. Dolph and Rod, you still in the chat, brother? I want to know what you are thanking Trump for. I'm waiting, brother. I am waiting. I'm waiting, man. What you doing, bro? Nah, he ain't saying shit. He ain't saying shit. I saw a tweet of someone's car, and there was just a sticker in the back that said, Buttigieg Cheney 2028. And frankly, I can't even think necessarily of a worse presidential ticket. I don't know, like Hitler and Epstein or something like that. Oh my goodness. Oh wow, people are sailing right now to Cuba. I see the YouTuber Boy has stacks of solar panels and 30 tons of humanitarian aid heading to Cuba. I know Hassan Piker was part of this, and Hassan and Boy I know are associated with each other. Has Hassan posted? Zoran Mamdani update. Pothole blitz. 7,000 potholes fixed. Shit. 50 miles per hour school zones. Okay. New vision for year-round outdoor dining. That sounds pretty good. Ending criminal summons for cyclists. New training for delivery workers. Bold redesign of 9th Avenue. Pedestrian and cyclist upgrades in Prospect Park. Successful pothole blizz. Zorhan Mamdani promises to fill all holes following pothole initiative with the DOT. And brother was not lying. Brother was not lying. Hooey. Ah. Dolph and Rod could not answer the difficult question of what he's thankful to Trump for. Let me see what their channel's all about. I don't know who this is. What a shame. Trump supporters, you're lacking. You're lacking. Your boy needs you. Frankly, folks, I'm going to keep it so real. I kind of went through all the headlines. Here's a headline. Pete Hegseth's pastor prays for God to kill James Tallarico. That is both unsurprising but still surprising at the same time. You just think that these people can't get any lower, and they prove to you they can. You know, I'm religious personally, and when I pray, I try to do it right. I can't imagine having your job, your career be in the, essentially, religion business, where you're some church owner, you don't pay taxes, but you push your political bullshit constantly, right? And you care so little about... How do you even put this into words? You care so little about being just, being moral, being right. Not right to be correct in an argument, but right to be honoring God of sorts. That you're like, oh God, please kill this guy. I don't like him. You know, it's one thing praying for harm. It's another thing to even say, like, fucking kill this guy. And I already think praying for harm is not great. I don't do that. And I ain't down for that. But, damn, son. Asking to kill James Tallarico specifically because James Tallarico is a Christian himself. And really reflects the religion in a much better way, a much more accurate way, than these fucking so-called pastor pricks. Actually reflecting the concept of loving thy neighbor. Actually reflecting the teachings of Jesus Christ, caring for the poor. Being much closer to liberation theology than this sort of evangelical nonsense of hyper-individualism and submission to those in power. Instead saying that everybody in poverty, everybody forced into poverty, that is an insult to God himself. I think that's a lot more accurate to Christianity in my view. Now, of course, these people are going to disagree simply because, in my view, they're no good. They're demons in sheep's clothing. It's not wolves, they're demons. Okay, and of course, unsurprisingly, someone of Pete Hegseth's moral standing in the world would listen to a preacher like that. Pete Hegseth, the guy that took $90 billion from the Defense Department in a month, buying fucking ice cream machines. Likely money laundering is my guess. That's my guess. Now asking for $200 billion. Also listens to a preacher, so-called pastor, or whoever, that wants to kill James Tallarico. That pastor should go to fucking jail and he should lose his church. Or at least have it be given to somebody that is a little bit more intelligent enough, decent enough to not call for someone's death from behind a microphone. We got a real moral crisis in this country, folks, in my view. I'm not trying to do a moral panic of sorts, but I do think we are in a moral crisis. Because so-called faith leaders, so-called moral leaders, those who kind of really shape the minds of the people who genuinely follow them in a very personal level, they're pushing evil bullshit, and we're going to get evil people as a result. We have evil people in power. We have Pete Hegseth blowing up children, blowing up schools, blowing up little girls. We have them blowing up oil facilities in Iran, causing fucking toxic oil rain. Acid rain the day after, giving millions of people exposure to cancer-causing shit. And all these people do it from the comfort of the United States. If Pete Hegseth wants to fight Iran, why doesn't he go in the front lines? Be a fucking warrior, go in front of the line of men on the ground and go topple that fucking Ayatollah, bruh. Be a man! Marco Rubio, you want to take down Cuba? Why don't you go on a damn boat and go after Raul Castro or something? Liberate your people, Marco. I don't even know who we send to Greenland or Colombia in the administration. Donald Trump, go to fucking Greenland and go establish your Trump Tower 2 or some shit like that. No. Instead, they want us to die for them. And they want decent people advocating for decent things to die because how dare they advocate for decent things. Fuck these people. But that's okay. That they act like this, that they act disgusting, that they act overtly corrupt. Because it's on the opposition party, as flawed as they are, to expose these people, to make it clear to the American people that these people in power are no good. Will they do that? I mean, Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries, they're not impressing. They're not properly opposing the war in Iran, the illegal war in Iran. They're not pushing the war powers resolution. We do got leaders, though, and people like Ro Khanna and people like Bernie Sanders and so on. We, the regular folks that vote and so on and so forth, we have to elevate these people, in my view, to actual positions of power. If Ro Khanna runs for president, I'm going to vote for him. Because he's proven himself on this Epstein shit. He's proven himself on the war front. And he is the clear leader we need. He's showing the level of aggression that we need. Taking the fight to these people, being one of being the only Democrat, as far as I know, able to pass a bill through this Republican Senate and through this Republican House of Representatives and through this Republican President, specifically calling for the release of the files, making it so that when this president and his administration is not releasing the Epstein files, they are violating the law of the United States. That's because Ro Khanna stood up and got it done. That, my friends, is leadership. So we got a lot to look forward to. And I'm going to end with this. For those who really stuck around, the 4 or 5 people who stuck around listening to this in the background, shout out to you for being here. I appreciate you. I'm going to end with this. A little hopium, as some might say. Some positivity. I'm going to play you an audio. This is a Trump supporter, former Trump supporter, a 3-time Trump voter.
Let's take a listen.
Let me turn this up for you, folks. I'm gonna turn this up for you. She voted for Trump 3 times. And this is what she had to say. Take a listen.
Trump. Let's take a listen to one more woman who we spoke with.
Yeah, I said that.
If you could say something to President Trump and he was going to hear you right now, what would it be?
You are a worthless pile of
And you voted for him how many times?
3 times. That was my bad. Apparently, I'm an idiot.
Trump. Let's take a listen to one.
Maybe you are, man. Maybe you are. But I just want to end off on a positive note because I was ranting there, but I want to end with something positive. MAGA, former MAGA, I don't give a damn if you voted for that man 3 times. If you're waking up, if you're seeing the light that he is a piece of shit, that he is screwing you for Israel or his donors or for himself, if you're waking up to that, you are welcome in the coalition of Americans trying to fight to make this country better. I know in this stream, I always kind of talk about how much I hate MAGA, which I do. But for those in MAGA waking up from it, those in the cult getting out, they are my ally, they are my friend. And I don't hate you. I don't. I want the best for these people. That's why I say, even if I don't like these people, if I had power, if I was in government, I would still pass policies that would benefit them and their families and the people that they care about, whether they like it or not. In turn, if you are waking up, I like you if you woke up. You are my friend if you woke up. That's the only thing, though. You have to wake up. I see this all the time in the data center fights. I've gone to the anti-data center struggles in my local community. I don't understand seeing the continued presence of the MAGA hat. He is betraying you on this, dipshit. He is trying to build these things in your neighborhoods. He is deregulating on behalf of AI. He is deregulating on behalf of the gambling companies, on the betting sites, which is corrupting this country, corrupting this society. So wake up. Take that fucking goofy ass hat off. Get with the times. You are being screwed and there are people that want to help you. You just have to want to help yourself. And if you want to help yourself, my friends, you are my friend. You are my ally. And you could be a 3 times Trump voter and you are welcome in the coalition, okay? I mean that sincerely. You just have to wake up first. Anyway, with that in mind, that was very hopeful to see. 3 times Trump voter. Flipping on him. Apologizing. Shout out to that woman. Because we can make mistakes, but if we acknowledge those mistakes and try to be better from those mistakes, that's good shit. That's good. You're a real one if you do that. And a lot of people aren't real. A lot of people can't do that. So shout out to that woman. And with that in mind, we're about an hour into the stream anyway. We've gone through the headlines. We ended on a positive note. So I will see you guys later. I'll be streaming tomorrow, of course. Oh, wait. Today's Friday, so I might not stream tomorrow or Sunday, but I'll stream on Monday for sure. And with that in mind, I will see you later.